Hey guys, welcome back. Desolate Galaxy developer blog entry 3. Thanks for tuning in again, and I hope you had a chance to check out the game design document. I put up a link on the One Man Enter website. It's a good idea to check it out if you want to stay updated on what's going on with the game. So I've made a lot of progress in terms of deciding where I want to take the game, and I've also started to create some code and some graphics that I'm gonna show you today. And I think there are two major decisions I've come to, which are important to state. Also, if you're considering creating your own game, I think these are important points. So the first point is what's known in the marketing world as unique sales proposition. What's special about this game? There are many space games, great space games out there, either launched or in development, and I really wanted to bring to the table something new and something that's my own voice, and this is why Desolate Galaxy is going to be focused on ground action rather than flying around in spaceships, which is most of the games out there are. So Desolate Galaxy is going to be focused on mining. It's going to be focused on, there's going to be vehicles, but they're going to be ground vehicles. I am going to go for the holy grail of a huge galaxy that you can visit and you can fly between planets and all of that, but that's not going to be the focus of the game. And obviously the ambience and all of that is what I want to play and what I'm going to create. So that's one big decision. The second big decision is the decision on the platform, and the platform is going to be web, meaning you're going to be playing the game in the browser. Now this is something that many people have kind of looked at me strange and said, what are you talking about? This is a dead platform, you should go for mobile. And I disagree. I disagree because mobile is flooded and it takes a lot to get noticed in that noise. Anybody who's ever launched an app knows you drop it in this ocean and it's a drop and it just disappears. Second thing is I think there's something to be said about the form factor of playing on a computer, on a desktop or a laptop, and there's still a lot of people who enjoy this form factor. Millions of people play all sorts of games like RuneScape, for example, and stuff like that. And I also think there's hardly any quality content on that platform. So I'm going for web, which by the way means that you're going to be able to go in from every computer, just play the game, no download, nothing, which I think is a major benefit. So these two decisions are going to dictate how I move forward. Now, the game is obviously a 3D game, which means that one of the tools I'm using and gonna be using heavily is Blender. Blender is an amazing open source 3D creation and editing tool, which if you're not familiar with and you want to create something that's 3D, I highly recommend. You can check out blender.org, that's the website, see a little bit what this tool has to offer. It's an amazing tool that has a little bit of a learning curve, but the second you get through it, it's an amazing tool that I use all the time and basically makes this project possible, because otherwise I would have had to purchase expensive tools that basically do the same, and this way I can do it for free. So one of the great things about Blender is that it has a huge community of creators, and you can basically go around and try to find stuff that's been created in Blender that you can use. Now the first thing I wanted to do is get a character on the screen. That's kind of the first thing you want to do when you create a game. And I started to look around, and I found this little guy here, which is an astronaut. It's not exactly what I need, but I figured I could easily modify it within Blender to fit what I need. Now, it's very important when you guys shop around for stuff like that, especially like this one, which is free, by the way. Always check out the license. Now, this guy's been kind enough to give this model away for free with license to also modify, but it is important that you give him credit. That's part of the license. So always check that out, and never ever take credit for work that's not yours. So I'm giving credit here to this guy, and I'm going to give credit obviously in the game. So I just took this model and easily enough started to change it within Blender. It's a pretty simple process till I got it to the more or less to the kind of shape that I need and the type of character that I'm going for. Obviously this is very preliminary, but I want to have something that I'm starting to work with. And so I got this character now, and I wanted to put it on the screen. I created a skybox. A skybox is, again, for those of you who are not familiar, it's a shape that surrounds the camera so you can look everywhere. So the skybox here is a skybox obviously of stars, and I have this little character standing in space. And I worked on a camera controller that allows me to look at him from every direction. This is all running in the browser with JavaScript. A very important thing I want to state is check out on the upper right side, you can see the FPS, the frames per second. Now this has to do with performance, and in many platforms which are more mature platforms, you keep the performance tuning to the end. You sit down, you create your game, you don't pay attention to performance, and at the end you do a performance run, and you already know how you're gonna do all the optimization and so on and so forth. The web is a little bit different, and because of the fact that there might be problems with optimization, one thing I always keep in mind when doing projects like that is to keep an eye on the frames per second. Now another thing I've done, you notice all the spheres in the back, is I've put 1,000 objects that are alive and moving in a physical way, because they're kind of my buffer. So as long as I'm at 60 frames per second and I have these 1,000 objects, it means that I still have ways to go before I take a hit on performance. Now I'm gonna keep these spheres around for as long as I can, and the second I start getting hit on performance, I'm gonna go on and handle it, and I'm gonna check every build, which is very, very important. So this is what I have right now, and the next thing I'm gonna go for is creating a terrain. Terrain has its own challenges, and we'll talk about it on the next entry. One important thing, I want to start putting up tutorials on the One Man Enter website, and I want to know what you guys think and what you guys want to know. So for example, if you want to have me do a tutorial on Blender, that would be great. I'll be happy to do it. If you want a tutorial on JavaScript, on code, on project management, any of these, let me know in the comments, and I'll do my best to create the tutorial. Okay, thanks very much for watching. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do, it's very important. And I'll see you next time.